let's jump right in. Today we're exploring a massive financial black hole in the healthcare sector. Every single year, the dental industry loses over $600 million. Why? Well, it all comes down to staffing shortages, last-minute call-outs, and just the sheer, crushing administrative overload of trying to find qualified coverage on short notice. When a hygienist or an assistant calls in sick, production plummets, patient care suffers, and frankly, the entire office is thrown into absolute chaos. But today, we've got a fascinating solution to look at. We're diving into Ambitious Smiles Dental Staffing, or ASDS, and we'll see exactly how their AI-native platform is completely re-engineering workforce operations to solve this multi-million-dollar crisis.
Okay, let's dive into this. Picture the reality of a modern dental clinic for a second. It's 6:30 in the morning. The opening assistant just called in sick, and the schedule is completely fully booked. Historically, what happens? The office manager starts making frantic phone calls, digging through these outdated agency lists, basically just praying somebody picks up. That manual friction, that's exactly what causes the industry to bleed revenue. Fixing a crisis of this incredible scale requires completely removing that friction.
So when we compare the old way of doing things to what ASDS brings to the table, the contrast is just stark. Traditional staffing is entirely manual. It's slow, it's high friction, and honestly, it's chaotic. It relies heavily on humans doing tedious data entry and playing endless phone tag. ASDS doesn't just digitize that old, painful process. It introduces a completely new, behavior-shaping user experience that removes the human bottleneck altogether. Here is our roadmap for this explainer. First, the front stage, portals and UX. Second, behavior-shaping UX. Third, the backstage, AI infrastructure. Fourth, the AI agents. And finally, number 5, money and compliance logic. Starting off with Section 1, the front stage, portals and UX. Imagine you're a dental assistant logging into the ASDS temp portal for the day. You're not greeted by some clunky, outdated job board. Instead, you get this incredibly clean, frictionless dashboard. Step 1, you just check your real-time status. Step 2, you review available shifts that are coming in straight from the office portal. But here's the kicker. They aren't just listed randomly. They display a personalized match score, showing your exact compatibility with that specific office. And step 3, you simply click Accept Shift. It's literally as intuitive as ordering a ride on your phone, completely eliminating all those back and forth negotiations you get with traditional agencies. Moving right along to Section 2, Behavior Shaping UX. Now, ASDS is technically not just a portal. It is an active behavior-shaping system. What that means is the design of the platform automatically nudges and pushes temporary professionals to keep their credentials up to date. It organically improves the quality of where people are placed, and it drastically reduces the manual busy work an HR team normally has to deal with. It essentially guides the user to do the right thing simply by how the interface reacts to them. Now, what's really interesting is how this behavior shaping actually plays out through a simple color-coded compliance status. Green means you're totally good to go, fully compliant. Yellow means a certification, like your basic life support or OSHA training, is expiring soon. But if you hit red, you are not eligible. And here is the absolute genius part. The system literally hides or blocks the Accept Shift button. The professional physically cannot book work until they update their documents. It forces 100% compliance without a single solitary phone call or email from a human HR manager. And once you are compliant, the system helps you find the absolute perfect assignment using a match score, like hitting a massive 92%. The platform actively assesses a professional's communication style, whether they prefer a fast-paced clinic or a slower environment, and their clinical experience tier. It takes all that data and compares it against the specific pacing and cultural preferences the dental clinic inputted on their end. So when a professional sees a 92% match, they know for sure it's a strong cultural fit. That brings massive emotional relief and completely reduces the stress of walking into a brand new, unfamiliar office. Let's peel back the curtain and look at Section 3, the backstage, AI infrastructure. The architecture behind ASDS is fundamentally different from a standard business just duct taping a bunch of disconnected apps together. Right at the center is ASDS_Core, which is built on Dataverse. This is the canonical system of record. It's the single source of truth. External tools like Gusto or Bamboo HR, they're basically just passengers. They merely supply data or execute outcomes, while the AI reasoning living inside ASDS Core actually drives the decisions. Which brings us to Section 4, the AI agents. Think of these AI systems not just as software features, but as highly specialized digital employees. ASDS utilizes a right-enabled AI model with very distinct roles. First, you have AMBI, the frontline concierge handling intake and communication, and AMBI can write data to the system. Then the staffing agent analyzes those match scores and assigns workers to shifts. The compliance agent constantly monitors credentials and holds the incredibly powerful authority to block actions. Finally, the finance agent calculates all the payroll and billing logic with permission to execute external systems. Every single agent has strict, distinct guardrails. No single AI has unrestricted access to the entire database. And those exact guardrails create some truly brilliant logic checks. For instance, the system dictates that the compliance agent's decisions automatically override the staffing agent, meaning if the staffing agent finds a flawless, 100% match for a shift, but the compliance agent spots an expired license, that placement is stopped dead in its tracks. It guarantees absolutely zero compliance risk for the dental office.
Let's transition over to the financial brain of the operation. Section 5, Money and Compliance Logic.
And this brilliantly illustrates how ASDS handles chaos. Instead of confusing, constantly fluctuating surge multipliers, they use a flat $20 per hour emergency premium for shifts booked with under 24 hours notice. In traditional staffing, an emergency last-minute call-out is usually a total nightmare for the office manager to calculate and negotiate. ASDS simplifies it. It's clean, it's totally predictable for the dental office, and it strongly incentivizes professionals to step up for last-minute coverage when the clinic needs it the most. The exact moment a shift is flagged as an emergency in the system, the ASDS finance agent takes over. It reads that flag, calculates the gross pay with the premium automatically included, prepares the invoice, and triggers the Gusto payroll execution. It flawlessly handles incredibly complex money logic in an instant, completely eliminating human math errors and all those typical back-office bottlenecks. The platform also features a really smart 3-tier clinical experience framework. Tier 1 is for recent grads with under a year of experience, Tier 2 is for mid-level, and Tier 3 is for the veterans. Now, this isn't just about setting pay rates. This data feeds directly into the AI staffing agent's matching logic. It elegantly solves a really complex puzzle. It protects entry-level graduates by matching them with slower-paced, mentorship-focused offices, while simultaneously ensuring that fast-paced, high-volume clinics get the Tier 3 veterans they absolutely need to keep production running high. So the absolutely crucial point here is this. Despite all this incredible, futuristic automation, humans are never locked out of the process. The platform operates on a strict human override authority. Human administrators can edit any record, they can reverse any AI action, and they always retain final approval over payroll runs. This model allows the AI to do all the heavy lifting at scale while keeping humans entirely in the driver's seat. And as you can imagine, that generates massive confidence from both investors and legal auditors. Bringing this all together, the true insight of this explainer is that Ambitious Smiles Dental Staffing has built far more than just a website or a job board. By combining an incredibly seamless, behavior-shaping front-end user experience with a robust, right-enabled AI backend, they've actually built an infrastructure of trust. They ensure that professionals are paid fairly, clinics remain highly productive, and compliance is literally never compromised. Which leaves us with a massive, absolutely fascinating question to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. As we look at the sheer efficiency, safety, and scale of this platform, how will this AI-native infrastructure redefine the future of the entire healthcare workforce? Because honestly, if it can solve a $600 million problem in dentistry, the possibilities across the rest of the medical field are absolutely staggering. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive, and as always, keep asking the big questions.